Hey everybody, it's Andy here over here on my side of the fence. Today I am here. Last week we had Patrick Small, Director of Economic Development, and I also got in touch with Steve Burke, who is the city manager, and he and I planned an interview that just came together quickly. So we'll have two city officials back to back. If you missed the one with Patrick Small, those of you that are really interested in like what's going on in the city development wise, you need to give that one a listen because there's a lot of good information in there. So, Steve, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Appreciate being here. And congratulations on your anniversary.
Yeah, it's that's KO. That place is great. You know, they just between him and Antonio from La China Poblano, they just made it so easy, and you know they handled all of the. I mean, they're a distillery. They handled all of the the bar duties, and Antonio's people handled all the food, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. So thank you. So you're the current city manager. Like, how did you get here? Where'd you grow up?
I'm one of those kids that was all over, born in Chicago. We spent time in Florida, Georgia, Arizona.
Military?
Oddly enough, no. My father was an engineer, but he was a very good one. And so wherever there were problems, that's where he wound up going to.
Right.
After I got into college, he actually spent a number of years over in Thailand trying to fix their sewers. So
wow.
He's been all around the world.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually people that move around like that, they're military brats.
Yeah, same type of demeanor, just different outlook.
So where'd you go to school?
University of Florida.
Okay, and you lived down there at the time? Or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We were primarily over in a small city, Dunedin, St. Pete, Clearwater area. Went to school up in Gainesville, got a degree in engineering, and started working with Pinellas County Public Works doing road design. Ultimately went into park design and spent a time doing some coastal management. After that, came up to Front Royal, was their town engineer for a while. Did public works, their environmental stuff, and then wound up being their town manager for a good spell. Then came over to Manassas to be public works director for a year and a half, 2 years. Then went to Luray to be their town manager for 6 years, and then bounced back over here.
And how long you been in position?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, came back as public works director about a year and a half ago, and then been city manager since February. So going on 8 months.
Wow. What I mean, you knew what that job looked like, right?
Yes, sir. Oddly enough, same problems in small towns as there are in cities. So
there's nothing new under the sun.
Well, there's never the same day twice. There's always something that makes me think, gee, it can't get any stranger, but there's always the next day.
Yeah, that's in my business, that happens with regularity. We had some weird problems with some email systems this morning that was not on my bingo card. I'm working on creating some services based around like AI and education and automation, and instead I spent 3 hours fighting what I think were dumb email problems, but it happens. That's why I'm in business.
We had gremlins in our IT system last night. If you watched the town council meeting from last night,
oh yeah,
the sound in the recording and transmission of it worked fine. The internal speakers, for one reason or another, they were playing, but at a muted level.
Right.
And we kept trying to increase the volume, increase whatever we could. Wouldn't affect it. Go into the room this morning.
Works fine.
Works fine.
Yeah, of course.
And so, always something new to try and diagnose. But no, and I'm glad that you talked with the chief and Patrick before. We've got a lot of incredible people that work for the city, and I think that's part of the reason that people enjoy living here. People come to visit, and the reason that we've been able to attract so many businesses, and they've last 25 years.
Yeah. It's before we started recording, I was passing along that I was surprised at the number of people. I was looking for some kind of information, like contact information for Patrick or something. And I was like, Diana's still at the city of Manassas? Holy cow. Matt Arcieri, he's still there. And, I've been off the council, I don't know, what, 8, 10 years, whatever it is. And, those guys are there. They're more senior in position because the people that led those divisions, Pat, and Liz, they've moved on to either retire or other jurisdictions. But yeah, it's a credit. I mean, that's in my business. It's in tech business, especially in this kind of business, and you hire younger folks. It's hard to hold on to them because they develop an affinity for a particular technology, and they want to pursue that and not do all the other stuff we do, which I completely get. But yeah, do most local governments hold on to people like that?
Usually, a lot of local governments do a good job of defining a career path, either in law enforcement and in any of the other roles that we have. There's a defined, if you're able to achieve this, stay here this long, you'll get to this next level. And usually there's a lot of good succession planning that we've got. Part of the reason that Diane and Matt are where they're at is that they were just the clear people that would move into the positions once they were available.
Yeah.
So in general, yes. The good news is that a lot of the people that we have in our positions with the city are very strong. They're not simply folks that we can't get rid of.
Right.
We want to keep them.
It's not just next man up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's I think that really is a credit to the previous administration of attracting folks, retaining folks, and seeing the value in who we have and how we can keep them.
Right.
Every day we get new challenges. Our treasurer just got through getting going through the personal property tax payment, and that went as smoothly as could be. We had lines at the end there out the door, and she was able, and her staff were able to process everybody, get things through. And I think we're up to 96, 98% payment. So that's a testament to it is. It's a testament to their ability to deal with people, process the payments, and go to the next person.
Yeah. People have lots of different opinions on data centers and roads and all that fun and games. But, one of the things that Patrick told me that really surprised me is that, the Merrifield Garden data center thing, those guys paid $4 million an acre.
Amazing how much money that people are able, that those firms are able to throw around to get data center sites. Yes.
I mean, at that price, it's like everything's a potential candidate.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the data centers are starting to sprawl like neighborhoods used to. And so that's one of the challenges that a lot of the communities in Virginia are having to deal with now. I'm glad that the city has been able to attract some, but we've done it in a very programmatic way. We had some area over there on Dean, and it seems like it's worked. We had to go through some inconveniences when they were running the power and telecommunications out to the site. Appreciate everybody's indulgence while 28 was torn up for a while, but it's back to normal, and we're hoping to bring those facilities online in the next year or so. So that'll be a positive.
Yeah, I think that the city, to its credit, and like in the county, so much turmoil regarding data centers, and we could have that here. $4 million an acre. But I think that the city has done a good job of siting the existing data centers. They're not immediately adjacent to residential. I have a friend in the county. They built a data center essentially in her backyard, and her house is ruined. The noise, it's not loud, but it's always there. So that's tough. Does the city have any kind of plans to contain data centers, or are we just going to use just like regular old zoning? And
Well, right now, data centers can only go into the industrially zoned areas of the city. So it does remove them typically from residential areas, and there's typically buffer commercial to when you get to the industrial areas. I know that our planning commission was looking at some additional, whether or not to put that under a special use permit. I know that they're continuing to talk about that, but right now, because of the zoning seems to be working well for the city.
right. Yeah, the county has struggled mightily. They have that noise ordinance that got watered down, and people just aren't happy. I mean, I don't blame them, but I also see the other side of the equation. I mean, that's a lot of money to walk away from. And, the county leadership has made it pretty clear. We're not walking anywhere.
Well,
So,
real estate tax wise, it is a windfall to any local government, and you're correct. It's hard to not just say everybody come and doesn't matter what type of property it is, go ahead and put a data center.
right.
But thankfully, we do have some regulation on that in the city, and I think it'll serve us well.
Has the state started to lean on you guys about any of that stuff?
No, honestly, the biggest pushback right now has been from the Dominion Power. They are actually there's basically, if you weren't already in the queue, you probably won't see a new data center get electrical approval for another 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
So Dominion is having to play catch up as far as
Sure.
how they can serve all their existing customers and then potentially the new ones. And they're also doing a lot of installation of transmission mains so that they can better serve or bring power in from any other generation facilities.
And with 2 or 3 year time frames, that's not nuclear. That's like gas turbine or something, right?
I think what that 2 year does is it allows them to finish a lot of the transmission facilities, and wherever there's existing other electric generation facilities, bring it in, and that way they can continue to serve everyone. Plus, it gives them a little bit of time to figure out where they can maximize existing facilities.
Right. Yeah, they had a project in Old Town where they did that. Yeah, and that wasn't really all that noticeable, I didn't think.
No, the biggest problem that the city has incurred was that they have to de-energize the lines that are going to it, and that put a strain because one of the more recent electric outages that we had was due to they were putting in transmission mains outside of the city, but that forced them to consolidate how they were feeding the city, and then there was a line failure on that, and so that knocked out 2 of our substations in one small incident. So that's been one of the challenges that the city and Dominion has to deal with is how they backfeed electric service to different communities while they're putting in the new transmission lines. But
it's tough. It
is, but long term, if they can get these new facilities in, it should definitely improve the reliability of service to the city.
Yeah, that's key. That's key. We have a bunch of clients in Old Town for our IT consulting business, and when the power goes out, I mean, if it just blips, the batteries carry it. Mm-hmm. But it's an hour and a half, they're off. The batteries shut the servers all down, and we have to deploy all hands to get these things turned back on. So, I get it. That's tough. When I was first elected, the city manager was Larry Hughes. Mm-hmm. Do you know Larry?
No, I did not.
Didn't? Okay. So I was talking to him one time. I was 38 when I was elected, something like that. So in the scheme of things, relatively young. Mm-hmm. The balance of the council were probably in their late 50s or 60s. And, I was talking to Larry, and I said, what's your job? He says, my job is to work on the city council. That's my job, to make sure that, they have what they need, and I can help kind of, I don't know that he put it quite like this, but kind of steer the council into getting to the right place.
Giving them the information that they need to make a decision. That's one of the critical components of this position, most definitely.
I think that he felt the need to steer a little bit more because we were in the middle of litigation in the federal district court. And some of the newer guys, including me, were not inclined to take what, in retrospect, was a relatively obvious path. Yeah, he went so far as to bring in a retired federal judge to a closed meeting of the city council to say, guys, you are crazy. If you lose this lawsuit, you are going to have to raise taxes to pay for it. And for me, that was like, all right, I'm out. I've had enough. I'm not doing that. The insurance company is going to pay these people. They're going to go away, and I don't have to raise taxes to pay for this lawsuit settlement. Mm-hmm. I think that the citizens would have rightfully bounced most of us out of office if we did that.
Well, parallel to the city manager, our city attorneys and his office are outstanding. We can ask them questions. We can get responses, and he's also instrumental in providing guidance to council to make correct decisions and to avoid litigation, or just the appearance of litigation is always important to any government.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was, I learned a lot in those first probably 6 or 8 months. When I first came into office, I wasn't convinced that the parking deck was something the city should be spending money on. And I think the city manager, maybe he sent the city attorney after me. But anyways, or maybe, no, it was the mayor. That's what it was. The mayor, before a meeting, he was like, hey, come here, new guy. Come here. No, understand, you're not voting against this. We have spent a decade trying to get things put together. Someone else is going to pay to build it. You need to vote for this. I need your support. I said, well, all right, But, that's part of the job too, though, right? Bringing along the new guys. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a formal training program for new council members?
We not a training program, but what we do is we have an orientation for the new members. We give them all the information, to give them the general FOIA and other regulations that they've got to abide by. Right. But then we also walk them through what the departments do, what information they can expect from us, and then how to ask questions, when to ask questions, and how to ask questions.
Right.
Getting folks comfortable. It's kind of like the public. Getting folks comfortable with who do you ask and when should you ask is critical to get information out. Right.
Yeah, no, that was always good. Because I think I received briefings on all the departments, but the best piece of advice I ever got from anybody was from the city attorney. He said, do not ever send something in an email that you do not want to see on the front page of the Washington Post.
Absolutely.
That served me well.
And that goes along with open government is how we have to live.
Yeah.
We work for the people and they need to know what we're doing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, it's a thing, but that was solid advice because coming from the private sector, send whenever I want an email. Most of it's all business. Mm-hmm. But someone can actually go and scoop up all those emails, take them completely out of context, and you're in trouble. Yeah. What do you see as how do you think that the whole Grant Avenue project is being received?
I think over time it will become more accepted. I think people are adjusting to the new traffic, either avoiding it going a different way through the city or enjoying the ride down through it. When the trees get established, when the construction gets done in the Van Meter townhomes, it'll look completely different. It'll look completely different, and it'll feel like a town road should. It just feels welcoming to come into downtown. And one of the things we were having a discussion last night with a couple of folks was accommodating the buses. Most other streets in the city where we've got bus stops, if you're not aware of where the bus stop is and there's not another lane to get around, you're stuck behind the bus. Yeah. Grant Avenue, now we've got pull-offs for the buses, dedicated bus stops to help facilitate getting folks into mass transit and making it easier to get around the city. So long term, I think it is a wonderful project for the city. I think it'll do well once people get past the initial all-nighters or roundabout there.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of roundabouts until I went to Europe. And, there's each one, it's like each one is its own different beast,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, that one, it seems a little small to me. But now that like the townhouses are coming along, like I get the idea. I still don't love how small it is, but I get there were constraints and I get all that stuff. How much traffic, like through traffic, did you guys think you had? Oh, was it a lot?
Uh, it was, I'd like to say 10 to 12,000 trips per day. I can't remember the
Through
exact
traffic.
number through traffic.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot more than I thought, but I guess it doesn't shock me, I guess.
Yeah. It may well have been a little under 10, but it's a good number.
Right.
And I don't know that we have that currently with, again, people looking for alternative routes, but when it's a good bit of traffic that goes through that roundabout.
Yeah.
Especially with all the schools right around there.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't think there's near that amount of traffic nowadays, but it's still a lot. So what about, isn't there another one planned for like 28 in Sudley? Is that the next one?
That Centerville and Sudley, yes, sir. I think 27, I think is when they're planning to start some construction out there. And that one will be bigger. If you were looking for a large roundabout, that will be bigger.
Yeah.
2 lanes. And honestly, I think recognizing the backups that we get on 28 with the signal now, it should be a better conveyance of traffic during the peak hours.
Is that going to be pretty disruptive, the construction?
It shouldn't be. It'll be kind of similar to what we did out on Grant. You'll have traffic shifts while they're constructing one of them, and then they'll route traffic around it, and then so it will be an inconvenience. There will be some headaches, but I don't think it will be a complete shutdown of traffic.
Right. Yeah, that would be bad.
Yes.
Yeah, because that would, yeah. So is the idea to push more of that traffic, like to some of these divided highways we have that are farther south of the city, to make people use those to go around?
Well, the master plan had been for that bypass that was recently killed. And if you go see our improvements on Sudley, you can see that we had the turn lanes all set up for it. So we are kind of having to rethink how can we get traffic through and around the city as best we can, and that the roundabout will help to allow folks to get either diverting traffic to Liberia, getting over to Sudley, and then getting around the city on some of the other streets.
What are you going to do at Liberia? There just aren't any easy answers, I don't think.
There isn't. We are planning to add another north-south lane on Liberia.
All right.
And then we're looking at one of the things that they're looking at is a triple left lane off of
28.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're looking at it. The sad thing is that I don't know that it will do enough to improve traffic.
Yeah.
But the additional lanes on Liberia should help convey folks up and down.
Yeah, there just aren't any easy answers.
No, there isn't.
You can try and get people to, I guess, cut through Manassas Park to get up to the Parkway. But even that is, the people in Manassas Park aren't going to love that.
No, there is no easy solution right now, and I know that Matt and his department are trying to work with NVTA to come up with what is the next best solution.
Yeah,
I know that they're looking at some overpasses east of us, but we don't have the right of way for overpasses on Centerville Road, so we don't have an easy solution. Just deal with some of the traffic for the short term until we can figure something out.
I was really surprised the county killed that project because of the whole widening in Fairfax County. That's the only reason you would do it, because you can't widen the bridge unless you're going to tear part of it down or something.
We were disappointed with that decision, and again, we're trying to figure out how to recover from that.
Yeah, county didn't do us any favors there, but it is what it is. It's like the road to take the Parkway out west of Dulles and hook it in over there. I always thought that was a pretty good idea. I mean, I get why the people that live there hate it. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like probably the best solution to the Route 28 issue. Route 28 has gotten better, but man, it has cost a lot of money.
Well, and as there's continues to be development in the city, in the county,
Yeah.
there's just going to be more people that are going to be driving all over.
Yeah. There's nowhere for them easy to go. I was in Hickory, North Carolina this weekend. There's almost nobody on the roads there at all. It's like Saturday, middle of the afternoon, and there's like 2 cars in line at the stoplight. I'm like, but it's just so different here.
It is. Yeah, Luray was the same thing. We added a stoplight while I was there, and I think that brought us up to 4. And but again, different kind of community. Once you put it in, people are complaining about the 20-second delay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So perspective is always interesting.
It is. It's tough. So like looking forward, Patrick talked a lot about, this stuff's all in the CIP, the garage and the hotel. Well, the hotel's not really in our CIP, but the expectation is out there. What do you think about the challenges associated with that scale of development and right there in Old Town?
Well, getting another hotel downtown will be a strong benefit to bring people in. Adding some additional residential down there, I think, is also going to be a positive. The more people we have living directly in downtown, the better it will be for all of the shops there. Just more people that, hey, I'm going to walk over for dinner. I'm going to walk over to pick something up. So I think long term, that will be a big benefit for the downtown community. Adding the additional parking garage so that there's parking both on sides, both north and south of the tracks. Right now, the biggest thing that we hear is people don't like parking at the VRE garage because you've got to cross the tracks. Okay. Long term, there'll be a solution for that. I think there'll be some inconvenience when construction is going on.
Yeah.
But again, long term, I think this will make downtown even more vibrant and allow us to continue to attract new and more variety of businesses in the area.
Oh yeah. I think it's important. I mean, the hotel motel that was there, it went through what I'll call several phases. When it was first built, critical infrastructure, we had none of that here, and had a little diner in it. And I spent many Saturday mornings in that diner, and then sort of a slow cycle of decline. And towards the end, it went back up a little bit. The owner put some money into it, to his credit. But I mean, it's, we were looking at that even when I was first on city council, like, how do we get this thing? And just the opportunity just never presented itself until a couple of years ago. And suddenly, bam, deal's done. Everyone hates the price, but we got the dirt. And, I think that was good. What do you think the other, beyond like that parking deck? Now, the city's going to build an annex or something, right?
Well, long term, we need to find a new home for our social services and then move the voter registrar out of Old Town Hall. Long term, we want to turn Old Town Hall into a museum for the volunteer fire department, just to demonstrate the history and the contributions that they've done to the community. Then again, finding a new home, a long-term home for social services. So the annex is in our capital program for about 2030, 2035, somewhere in that time frame.
What? Why not just use like the thing out by the airport?
The thing out by the airport.
That building, the old DMV building.
Oh, well, because the old DMV is part, and I don't know if Patrick got into that discussion with you, but long term, we're looking at residential development in that area. We've been talking with a couple of developers, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have some positive movement out there. But long term, we're adding some additional housing. I think there's about 250 units that were planned in addition to what was already out there. And then we've got 3 or 4 commercial sites out there that we're also hoping to fill in to bring hopefully some needed commercial to that neighborhood.
Yeah, needs it. Doesn't need it.
Yeah, well, we are hoping to close on the second hotel out there by the end of the year as well. So there's a lot of good development going on there. If we can bring in the commercial flights out there, I think that will be the impetus to bring in some pretty solid commercial development out there as well. So there's a lot of potential and a lot of potential that we're hoping will come to fruition within the next year.
And the commercial flights, and people, it seems like most people are pretty jazzed about it.
I am. I think that'd be wonderful. I think not having to get under 28 to go into Dulles or Reagan would make travel incredible.
Yeah. Do we have a timeline on that?
We are the new CEO of Airports is coming into the December 8th council meeting, and we will get his updated schedule. We're hoping that it will be sometime end of 26, I think is the last I'd heard.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's
fast.
It's out there. I'm hoping we will know definitively at our December meeting what the new schedule is.
That's pretty cool.
I know that they've already got some renditions of the new terminal expansion that they're looking to do. So it's great news, it will be a big boon to have folks that want to be able to travel out of the city and not go into DC.
Right. The parking lot will be filled with travelers instead of people like me who take my bike out there and ride it around. Well, that's kind of cool. Is Swan still making it rain money at the airport from the feds?
Actually, well, a lot of the funding does come through the FAA, but the benefit of getting commercial out there is it opens up a whole lot more potential revenue. And we've got some pretty serious projects out there. We just got done doing the testing on the existing bridge for the runway.
Right.
It's sufficient for most of the commercial traffic that we're anticipating. If we ever were going to get into the larger jets, it will have to be upgraded.
Yeah.
But the good news is that once we get commercial established, the availability of upgrade funds from the FAA for that project will open up. And that will be a big win for the airport. We'll be able to serve basically most any size jet that's on the market today once we get that bridge upgraded.
Yeah, I was always, it just amazed me. It says, well, now that we don't have a finance committee anymore, as I understand it. I was on the finance committee back in the day. And I mean, these agenda items just kept coming through. Here's another $100,000. Here's $300,000. And then I asked some questions about it. Well, I shouldn't have done that because the mayor put me on the airport commission.
We still have the airport commission.
And it was just amazing to me how adept he was, and maybe it's him and his staff probably, at securing those funds, and they were crucial. They really were.
Absolutely. No, Juan Rivera, the director out there he's been in the business a good long while, and we've been lucky to have him for going on 22 years now, I think.
Wow.
So again, one of the long-term employees that we've had that has really done a wonderful job for the city, and is able to use his understanding of how FAA funding works, and he's able to plug in where we need projects and how to get that money. So he is exceptional at bringing in the federal money to make and the state funding as well. Yeah,
it's not as much, but it's there.
It is.
Do we have any? Does more green figure into that commercial aviation?
It's kind of a circular.
More Green is a community at the end of one of the airport's runways, and over the years, the city's had to buy some land there to give noise buffer, I guess I would call it.
No, actually, Ron's also got all that squared away. There's federal reporting that we have to do in advance of the commercial, and the testing that we've got, we're basically in a good position.
Good.
All of that is available on the FAA's website. If anyone had any concerns about the noise that would come from commercial traffic out there, it's been studied and it's available.
Yeah, the worst noise out there was always when Colgan was doing run-ups. You could hear that in Old Town. I can't imagine what it was like over there. But that's all since moved off. But no, the airport is. I always felt like it was a benefit to the city, but it was kind of a hidden sort of thing because there's a lot of prop planes.
Mm-hmm.
You got a couple of FBOs out there. They have jets in them. You got the government's always been out there, but it was just kind of an island to itself that really didn't do a lot for your average. I mean, I can't afford to pay $150,000 to charter a plane to the West Coast or something. But now it seems like that benefit is going to really expand.
It will. Yeah. And Juan's always done a good job. We've been able to attract and bring in, B-17s, B-29s for the public to take a look at. And it really will be great to be able to have commercial jets come in and hey, I want to run out to Florida. I want to go over to the West Coast. Easy enough to do.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be amazing because you're right. I mean, getting to Dulles at 4:30 in the morning is not a problem, but when your flight comes back in at 5:30 in the afternoon on a Friday, you're in for a ride that might be longer than your flight.
Absolutely. And again, just hopping on Godwin and getting anywhere that you need in the city in 15 minutes. That definitely beats 28 traffic.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit. So we bought the Marsteller School.
Yes, sir.
And Patrick explained to me sort of the backstory on that, which was pretty interesting. I had no idea that basically the agreement is with the previous landowner was
with the church,
yeah, it was not going to be. They couldn't develop it. I guess I had no idea because I was fully expecting. I never expected the city to buy it for whatever reason, but I fully expected it because that was just an obvious candidate, right? If it wasn't a municipal use, it's going to grow houses or whatever, like another one of those things, the racetrack or whatever that gas station is across the street.
Oh, yeah, the Wawa. Yeah.
Wawa, yeah. And so, that was there when I was a kid. And the city's had a couple of different experiences with that school. When we had a horrible snowstorm in Mayfield, the roof didn't collapse, but it had a real problem. It was going to collapse. And so and the previous year, I was on the council. The previous year, we had talked to the schools about buying it and using it at school, and they said it's far too dangerous. And we have this horrible problem in Mayfield. All those kids are off to Marsteller. But, we had to have it. And so I never saw anything like it. I mean, I went to Dean Elementary, the one that they're busy tearing down. And like when I went back there for council town halls, I was like, man, this looks kind of rough. But when I was a kid, it was fantastic. But so that's going to be a community center, right?
Correct. It is a community center right now.
Right.
We've got daily and on Saturday different events for families to
cool.
do. There's a drop off for your kids. We've got movies there. I think we've tapered them down for the winter. But there's a Lego club. There's a lot of activities. If you go to the website, you can find out what's going on there. And then long term, in the next 5 to 10 years, that'll be the home to New Company One. And
you tell the volunteers yet?
Oh yeah, they're and honestly, I think Chief Mills, our fire chief, has been working with the volunteers, and they all see the benefit of having the response time because
even it out.
Well, and the good news is that because of where we are situated, our crews respond to Manassas Park and into the county, and they respond into us. So this gives us better coverage in the city, and then as well as to the areas that we are responsible to respond to as part of that agreement that we've got. So long term, it will be a good benefit to the city. Then we've got to figure out what we want to do with the old water tower at Company One.
Man, I don't even want to start that discussion. People are passionate about that thing.
They are.
So the city, you would demolish the old firehouse.
We would find out what kind of if there was a use for it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll have another community conversation when we get there
Yeah.
about what to do with that. But long term, yeah, we'll have to evaluate what's the best use for that site.
Yeah. Yeah. It's decent sized.
Oh, it's a big building.
Yeah.
Part of the it doesn't firehouses typically don't convert well to commercial use.
So. Especially that one, because when we do some IT work for them, and the place is a bomb shelter, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And like trying to get wireless network set up in there, forget it. You can't get through many of the walls because there's probably so much steel in them that it just doesn't work. So I think we have like 4 wireless access points there, and if that was a normal building, we could probably cover it with 1. But they have to have coverage in the trucks, so that when the information comes to the computer, it talks to the Wi-Fi. So yeah, and there are challenges with that building, but it's I'm fond of it. I've got a couple of family members whose names are on the wall over there and stuff like that. But and I spent a lot of time rewriting the law that governs the arrangement between the city career guys and the volunteer guys.
Yeah,
I do not enjoy that. People that run into burning buildings for a living are by definition passionate, and thank God for them. But trying to get a new agreement hammered out, that was rough. It took a lot of work, and it works. A couple of times, not too long after we implement it, I'll never forget John Way said, well, this law just isn't working. We should just redo it. And after that meeting, I went to John and I said, not we, you, homeboy, you can redo this, because I can't tell you how much time I spent on it. And, it's complicated and people are passionate about it. I get it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you said, folks that choose to run into burning buildings, my hat's off to them.
Yeah.
And it is a choice that you have to make, and there are some folks that do it willingly.
Yeah, and we're all better for it.
Absolutely.
But man, that's I went through a short, like a 1-day kind of thing with fire and rescue guys out at the training facility out in the county. They had us crawling around in a smoke-filled room doing a search, and they had us like putting out fires inside of the building. And I think the number one there are 2 takeaways. Number one, that's a hell of a job. It's very difficult. And number 2, when they told you in school to get on your hands and knees and crawl out of a fire, they were right.
They were.
It makes 100% difference.
No, I did wildland fire. I was on a wildland fire crew in Florida, and it was amazing to watch pine trees just go up.
Yeah.
And the folks that go into that profession, they have a good sense of humor, because you have to. Just all the things that you wind up seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the fire hat on and I had the curtain pulled around, standing up. And the guys told me this. They're like, this is what this is going to look like. You can feel it on your ears, the heat. And then, that's bad. But if you get down on your hands and knees, it's a lot easier. Now, you can't see really, but you're not going to burn up, at least not immediately. But that was something else. That was a heck of an experience. So going back to like the City Hall Annex, where are those departments now?
Well, like I said, our voter registrar is located in Old Town Hall.
Yeah.
And then the Piedmont building over off of
they're
Church
still
Street.
over there.
Yeah, social services. Yeah, they just did some renovations to the building, and we signed a longer term lease to give us time to get the improvements done in the parking lot, the garage, and whatnot, and then long term build the annex building out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that parking lot behind the Piedmont building hasn't gone to, some office or, another row of townhouses or whatever.
Long term, it probably will. I know that with the city's long term lease, and then the county moved their adult detention administrative staff into that same building. So
did they?
Yep. So
Okay.
I think that's given the owners the ability to look a little bit longer term on what they want to do.
Sit tight on it. Yeah, and the So over at the courthouse, at one point I saw some sort of comprehensive plan for redeveloping the courthouse. Is that still on the table?
My understanding is yes. We're not directly involved with that because
Right.
it is the county, but yes, my understanding is that they are looking at a new parking deck in the rear of it, and then expanded court facilities to meet the needs of all the judges that they've got and all
Man,
the court
they need
cases
that
that they have.
parking deck. Something horrible.
Absolutely.
I mean, people park all the way into the neighborhoods. Uh, it's packed on court days over there.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, like how big it's gotten to be, and they're going to add more.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to, right? I mean, good news, bad news, I guess. At least they, 20 years ago, didn't take it down to the other end of the county and tell us to stuff it.
Well, I don't want to say that it's a tourism, but it does bring people into the city.
Yeah. The so the and that annex will be somewhere over there adjacent next to City Hall, right?
Oh, for ours, yes.
Yeah.
Basically, we've got an area kind of sketched out that between City Hall and where the parking garage would be. Yes.
Okay. And how big would it be?
Most likely, we would plan to build a 4-story building. It would. We wouldn't need all of that immediately, but it'd be a long-term investment. Right. I believe we're looking at maybe 8,000 square feet. It's not a huge building,
right?
Just enough to facilitate social services, the registrar, and then maybe 1 or 2 additional departments.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to build it, you might as well build it with some spare capacity.
Yes.
I know when the current City Hall was built, I think that they only fitted out 3 floors. And the story that I heard was that the council agreed to build a 4-story building on the condition the 4th floor was not finished. The thinking was it would constrain the size of the city staff.
No, we've grown.
Oh yeah. Well, Manassas is a complicated community and it has needs. We have things that we have to take care of.
Absolutely.
And the other thing Patrick told me, which shocked me, was that those townhouses in Georgetown South, some of them are like $350,000. 400.
Yes.
That's like, you're talking about gentrifying an entire, 800 units over there?
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable to me. It really is.
It shows that there is a demand for people to want to move into the city.
Yeah. Well, and what I, in retrospect, mistakenly thought was there's this huge block of affordable housing. No, there's not. But the affordable housing, that's tough, mm-hmm. right? Because I don't think that governments do a great job at running things like that. Almost everywhere, that kind of housing's a mess. And given the cost of the land here, I don't know how you build affordable, attainable, whatever you want to call it. I just don't know how you do it unless there's a lot of taxpayer money involved.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. In order to achieve affordable or attainable housing, the government does have to participate.
Yeah.
We have to know when to get out of the way and let the folks that know how to do it actually run it. But I know that the city, our council, is definitely looking for opportunities to try and attract attainable housing into the city so that we can bring as much of our workforce back locally as we can. So that is one of the goals, and hopefully we'll be able to achieve some success with that in the future.
That's going to be a tough nut to crack, man. That's going to be a tough nut to crack. Because I don't feel like, I guess you could always tell the developer, like, look, if you want to build 50 units, and we need 5 or 10 of them to be cheaper.
Well, and usually the pushback you get from that is that it's not really a sustainable business model.
Yeah.
And so we have talked with some folks that are looking at doing some larger scale attainable housing. It does take a lot of work to get whatever available, both Fed and state monies are available to make it successful. So it doesn't happen quickly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know we've been working with People Inc. on Prince William Street to try and do some veteran preferred housing. And that project has been in discussion for at least 5 years now. And we're hoping that we'll be able to work with them to get that as another successful project, but it's just taken time to get
Federal
everything.
money involved in that?
Primarily state, but some
Is it?
Fed as well.
Well, I mean, the state is still, love them, hate them, whoever's in office. It seems like the governance there and the staff are still qualified. And it's not as, again, love or hate them, but there is Trump has induced some fair amount of turmoil into Washington and how things work. And in any bureaucracy, that just slows things down. And, it is what it is. He's the president. That's what he wants to do. But it makes things a lot more difficult, I'd imagine. I didn't even know that there was a project I know that they tore the one house down and it looks like they're rebuilding it right on Grant.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even know there was a project over there. Does that include that point of land right there at Prince William?
Well, it's further down Prince William.
Oh, is it?
Going towards Wellington?
Oh, okay.
Basically the VFW that's over
Oh, right.
there. They have been working with People Inc. and the city to try and get to the point that they can put in some attainable housing, primarily veteran focused, and then get the VFW building rehabbed. So it will be a good project when we can finally get People Inc. to get all the funding in place.
Yeah. I was surprised by how much development has taken over at their Prince William on that side. I went to the pickleball courts over at Dean. They're fantastic.
I'm surprised you're able to get in because that's a high use facility. There's folks that are coming in from all over the county to use our pickleball courts. It amazes me.
Well, both times I've been there, they've been pretty empty, but the weather has been, it wasn't raining, but it was a little dicey. So people aren't going to come down to our pickleball courts if it's going to rain. But I've been by there before. I swung by a couple of times at lunchtime and in the later afternoon just to get an idea of how many people. And it's busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's busy. The city's got a lot of infrastructure out there. And then the school that's sort of rising out of the
new dean. And that contractor's doing a bang up job.
Are they?
Yeah. It looks like they might at least have one of their buildings under roof by winter, which would be
fantastic.
It would. It allows them to keep working and making a lot of headway. So.
Yeah. Are they tearing down the old dean? That's a school question, but
Well, I will defer you. Matt is doing an update on the historical assessment at our October 30th joint meeting with the school board.
Right.
And part of the discussion will be the majority of the school really isn't historically associated. There is a portion of it that was the original school.
Oh, is that right?
Not all of the walls are truly original.
Right.
So part of the discussion will be, do we preserve the walls or do we just do like a knee wall like we did with the other building?
Right.
Kind of just an indication of where it was, and then bring back the original school, the one building that was built by the kids that attended the school. We've identified that. We're going to move that back to the site so that it can be as historically significant as possible. So that is a discussion about the school in its entirety. We're not sure where the demolition will end, but a good portion of the school is intended to be demolished.
So is there a use plan for that or just green space?
Primarily green space and then space to move the old school building back.
Right. That's good. So out there by where the pickleball courts there in the back, how many baseball fields are back there?
I think we've got 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. And those seem pretty busy.
They do. They get a lot of attention. They get, and I think I take that back. I think there's 3. I think we have room for a 4th and maybe a 5th that we didn't build as this part The city's been doing the two that we've got over at the Marsteller Community Center. We're trying to put ball fields in as much as we can, and flat fields as well.
Yeah, soccer.
Fields. Yeah. So there's a lot of recreational facilities in Manassas now.
Yeah, we used to have an informal bike trail that went from basically the train depot in Old Town down Prince William, through Dean, through the back around the generators, and then up that road and over to Cannon Branch.
Okay.
And we had a path through the woods that, it left to whatever is left of the fort itself. We skirted that by about 75 feet, and we created a relatively long path that's just on different surfaces. And, the Cannon Branch Fort, it's hysterical, but it's largely unused. And a single track bike, it's just in the dirt. There's nothing, there's a couple of flags on the trees. And then we came out of that right up against the train tracks. And you turn left, and I tried to get Juan to let me run a bike path around behind the fuel tanks, and he wasn't hearing of it. But I still think there's a huge opportunity there, because everything else out there is data centers. As long as you stay outside of the wire, they don't care. And you could go all the way back up to the 234 bypass. But, Juan said no, and that was kind of the end of it.
Well, the county is actually looking at putting in a bike facility, not behind the our fuel facility, but they are looking at putting in something along Harry Parish.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people that cycle out there.
Yeah, I see them most any day that I'm out there.
Yeah. And it was cool because it's primarily a mountain bike trail, right? Or you could do Winter's Ranch, because we at one point looked at extending Winter's Ranch, and that got a lot of uproar. It went through some neighborhoods. People didn't like it. But it was neat. I mean, I had a regular group of, 20 or 30 guys that rode it. And, people were coming from outside of Manassas to ride it. Not hordes, you're talking 2 people at a time or something. Yeah. But it was just kind of an opportunity, something to do, right? But yeah, no, we've got decent bike infrastructure in the area, I think. Could be better, could be worse, but a lot of that, there's, the first time I looked at the bike master plan, Sudley Road was a main corridor.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, I was in a land use meeting, and again, I hadn't been in office very long. I should have known better. And I said, how is it that one of the main extensions for the bike thing is Sudley Road? And I said, well, it seems like it's a reasonable thing. I said, that's great. I said, you see this piece of land right here? Just put a graveyard on it. That was a little unkind, but it's also not realistic to ride a bike on Sudley Road in any way, shape, or form. You will die. But that's just kind of, that's America, right? It's car centric, car first.
Well, getting back to Grant, I've ridden my bike up Grant now that it's been improved several times.
Oh, have you?
Mm-hmm. Nice little ride. Get into downtown, run over to Fairview. It's just to me, that's an easy ride to enjoy.
Yeah. No, I think it's okay. The only thing about the Grant project is I wish it was a lane and a half wide, like it is north. Because then you can kind of get out of the way if there's a police car or something behind you. Now you got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to pull up onto the walkway. I'm not doing that. The police can do that if they want to do that. They've all got Explorers anyways.
They do. They can hop the curb.
Yeah. But is there anything you want people to know? Like, what is stuff going on that you think is important?
The Veterans Day Parade is happening this Saturday. I don't know when we're going to be going on air, but that's
next Tuesday probably.
Okay. Well, hopefully the 17th Veterans Parade went spectacularly, and then we're getting into I think 14th is Veterans Day. City Hall will be closed, and then we're getting at the end of the month. We're getting to Thanksgiving holidays. So just if you have questions, look at our website. There's a lot of good information about upcoming events in and around Manassas, as well as information about any of the different commissions, the council meetings. and recordings of most of them. So,
How are the boards and commissions stacked? Are they pretty well filled with volunteers?
yes, I believe we're always looking for folks that are interested in serving. You may not get the board that you're looking for, but we always have some pretty good turnover of members of the different commissions. So if you're interested, again, visit our website. You'll see what boards and commissions are out there, and put your name in the hat so that we can consider you. We've got the committee that looks at all the applications and tries to put in best fit of what skills that individuals have with what commission needs would be. But definitely, if you're interested in working with the city, please give us a shout.
Yeah, I've served on a couple of those, and I always learn stuff.
Absolutely.
The Utilities Commission, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know any of those things before. And the Airport Commission, certainly not. I mean, we had clients out there, so I was familiar with it, but that was 15 years ago, and it was a little bit more Wild West and a little less, law and order out there back then. But no, I've always enjoyed the committees and stuff that I served on. Even when I wasn't on council, I served on a couple of those. So, and then of course all the Christmas stuff. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
Are we out of First Fridays?
No, the first Friday in November will be the last one in 2025.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, look, thanks for your time, man. I really enjoyed
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.